Can I be who to the Buddha? Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. The continuation of 8 Vassa in Sumsumaragira. So we have very famous couple in Sumsumaragira. They are named Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata. Okay, here I didn't mention where the Buddha spent in Sumsumaragira. Whenever the Buddha visited Sumsumaragira, the Buddha spent his time in Besakala forest. The name of forest is Besakala, right? This is the name. So many people, when the Buddha arrived, many people came to see the Buddha, listen to Dhamma talk. So Nakula Pita, Nakula Mata also came to see the Buddha for the first time. When they see the Buddha, they say, "Dear son, where have you been wandering all this time, leaving your parents behind?" They said like that. That means in samsara, many times they have been Buddha's parents. Also many times they have been Buddha's aunt and uncle. If we say briefly, they have been relatives many times in the samsara. That is, as soon as they saw the Buddha, they think this is like their own son. See, they have been married a very long time. They also have their own sons and daughters. So this is also the nature of people. So sometimes we have very long time relationship in the past. As soon as we see each other, we become very friendly easily. This is also one thing. Another thing is a present benefit, a present welfare. If we have done for the welfare of people in this very life, people become very friendly to us. This is a normal. So if we say somebody is very friendly to us, we have to consider, right? Which one? Past relationship or present welfare? Then now here, these two approach the Buddha very easily. Since they have very strong emotion when seeing the Buddha patiently waited until their overwhelming joy and excitement naturally subsided. Then when their mind becomes neutral, or when they have more equanimous feeling, I mean not so much emotion, not so much joy, at the time the Buddha starts delivering discourses. It doesn't mention what kind of Dhamma talk the Buddha gave. We can also say, Ikim Enobhuvikata. So anyway, after delivering discourses, at the end of discourses, both Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata become Sotapanna. This is the first meeting with the Buddha. we don't know how many times the Buddha visited before the 8 Vasa. Okay, for your information. You may remember Venerable Mahamoggallana Attain apprenticeship after 70 after ordination, right? Actually, Venerable Mahamoggallana was meditating in Sumsumaragira at the time. He was a drowsy. The Buddha delivered how to overcome drowsiness to Venerable Sariputta. This also in Sumsumaragira. So this is the first time they met the Buddha. Then, so if we say briefly, recognizing the Buddha as their son, this is the first step, right? Second one is waiting for the Majjhata state to preach. So the Buddha have to wait until they have a natural mind or equanimous mind. So both of them attain Sotapanna. This is a summary of the first meeting. So they have family love, very strong, very deep family love. These couple are very loyal. So one day, Nakula Pita talked to the Buddha. We have been married since we were 16 years old. Since then, I have never cheated my wife. Even mentally. Not verbally, right? Not bodily, even mentally. His mind never inclined to any other woman apart from his wife. Then actually, Nakula Mata also said the same. She had never cheated her husband, even mentally. So they also said, we will to be together in the samsara. This life also they have happy marriage. In the samsara also they can see each other. Right? For ordinary people, right? That kind of aspiration is a little bit silly, right? Even we're gonna grant you this life. Right? Then we will make aspiration for samsara. This is a little bit silly, right? But here the Buddha said, if people wish to be together in the samsara, there must be 4 conditions. We can also say 4 qualities. The first one, equal faith, saddha. In Pali, we can say saddha, equal faith. So we can also understand saddha means confidence or belief. If our confidence are very far, we cannot live together. If the way we believe are quite far, we cannot live together. Not only the religious belief, even we have worldly belief. If our beliefs are very far, right, we may have more arguments. Okay, for example, one of among the we have say ekabemi 2%, right? One of them has very strong faith, very strong confidence. Another one don't have faith, a lot of doubt. Okay, let alone religious faith. If they don't believe each other, what will happen? they cannot live together anymore, right? If one of them have a lot of doubt, then sure, that relationship will be broken soon. Okay, in the case of saddha, belief, we must understand a few more things. Sometimes we have overconfidence. Right? If we have self-confidence, okay, right? Sometimes overconfidence. We also understand sometimes we have such importance. When we have this kind of mindset, we become arrogant. Right? That means too much confidence. Or we can say overconfident. It can change to mana, pride. It also can be stubbornness, arrogance. When somebody has overconfidence and arrogance, of course, it's not that easy to live together. Right? Another thing is that if we have too much arrogance, we also have a lack of self-awareness, right? We have lack of self-awareness. We don't feel we have a mistake or we don't feel guilty. You know, many arrogant people, many stubborn people, although they make mistakes, they don't feel guilty. They don't regret. Very risky. That's why when we equal saddha, they must have the same face. It doesn't mean they must be arrogant together. Right? It doesn't mean they must be stubborn together. This is it. Two different things. Saddha must be saddha. Okay, one more thing. When we say confidence, it makes our mind clear. When we have stubbornness, it makes mind messy. That is why when people have equal saddha, equal faith, equal confidence, then they can live together. If confidence becomes very far or quite different, we cannot live together. Even in this very life, it's not that easy to survive together. In the samsara, don't expect anymore. Okay, now second one, equal morality, sila. Okay, this is also one of the problems. I remember in 2017, I spent one time in Mimyu. Another little girl me around 20 years or something like that, maybe 21 or 22, that kind of age. That girl is from Vietnam. I'm like father to her. Right? She dares say everything to me. One day she told me, okay, I'm too young. I cannot ordain. I should get married. Then she also asked me, what kind of husband should I have? Right? I say, morality. Okay, you can find moral husband in Vietnam. She must undertake 5 precepts. Then she said, it's impossible. Right? It will be very difficult for me to find that kind of husband. So that means morality, okay, we can understand like 5 precepts, okay? This is a abstinence. Then one more thing. If we say morality, we also have to understand duty and responsibility. Mostly people understand avoiding doing wrong things is a morality. We can say abstaining as a morality. But we don't understand fulfilling duties, performing duties as a morality. This is also one of the things. In the case of household life, abstinence also important. For example, both couples, right? In the couple, I mean, both parties, wife and husband, if they have undertaken 5 precepts very strictly, of course, this is also one of the things. They will not torture each other anymore, right? Mostly, when the couple have hatred, they torture each other. Then if they have morality, they will not torture. They will not disturb each other. This is also important. Rather than some responsibilities. So 2%, one of them is fulfilling duty very well. Another one does not fulfill duty. What will happen? Of course, that kind of relationship cannot last long. So sharing duties, this is also important. In the case of morality, we are going to understand like a habit. So everybody has bad habits. Right? Some of the bad habits is okay, we can say forgivable, right? We can forgive. Some of the bad habits we cannot forgive. So if one of them has many bad habits, another one has very less bad habits, then they cannot compromise, then sure, this relationship will be ruined soon. If we say briefly, sila means abstinence, also responsibilities, also habit. If morality is quite far, cannot live together. Okay, practically, you may have many of classmates since childhood to now. Right? Some of the classmates are still very good to you. You still have relationship with that kind of classmates. Some of them are very far from you because different lifestyle already, different moral value already. Right? Okay, practically, I also have many classmates. You can imagine I was ordained when I was a teenager. Many classmates. We all are bhikkhus and samaneras, right? At the time. Now some of them distraught layperson already. Then many other classmates remain as a bhikkhu. But the problem is, we can communicate, but to live together in the same place, impossible. My lifestyle and their lifestyle are totally different already now. Right? Because their lifestyle is very messy. My lifestyle is a little bit simple. So even we are very close, when we grow older and older, we have different morality, we cannot live together anymore. Okay, one more thing here, right? You are classmates. Then some of the classmates will think you are crazy, right? Because you are meditating or you are all day, right? Some of your classmates or some of your friends will think you are crazy, right? Because you choose different lifestyle. If they know you don't have their money, you don't have money, they may think you are very crazy. Right? You go too far. Right? Because different value of morality, that's why you cannot live together. This is abstinence, no? That's abstinence. For sharing duty, we are not sure. We can share duty or not, we are not sure. If we can share duty, of course we can live together again. This is also possible. Okay, now, the next one. Samajaga. So, equal generosity. Generosity is also very common in Buddha teaching, like sharing properties. Okay, here we should say sharing properties, and the opposite of generosity is possessiveness or stinginess. When we have too much stinginess, too much possessiveness, we are unwilling to share our properties. Okay, similarly, in daily life, the couple, they don't share their property each other. What will happen? Right? That kind of life is very, very terrible, right? So previous one, not sharing duties. Okay, now this one, not sharing properties. Okay, here, although we say properties, then there will be many other material, possessiveness or stinginess. For example, our sub-material, living space. So a couple, wife and husband, they have two houses. One house belong to wife, another house belong to husband. They don't do share house. What will happen? Living space, no sharing, right? Because our samajivi. Then similarly, friends, right? So then even friendship, okay, there will be a lot of jealousy, right? For example, the wife will see her friends, her classmates. For example, we can say like a union or something, like friend union or something, that kind of things. Class union, that kind of thing, right? Classmate union, that kind of cases, right? That kind of parties, for example. Then husband disagree. Similarly, husband will go to that kind of union, wife disagree. What will happen? A lot of jealousy, a lot of possessiveness. Then it will spoil the relationship. It doesn't mean the couple must not have jealousy or possessiveness too much, right? They may have jealousy sometimes. This is not that much big problem. If too jealous, it will spoil relationship. Another thing is the properties. For example, earning money or any other belonging, no sharing. Then not only that, we can also understand like a knowledge, right? Knowledge, no sharing knowledge. That means not so much generous, right? So any kind of sharing, if they don't do it, finally their relationship become very cool, and they will break up naturally. So generosity. Here in the case of generosity, we also need to know like offering, right? Offering. Okay, I will give practical example. 2019, one of the Dhamma talk in California. That's actually for Myanmar people, Myanmar Dhamma talk. Now, one of the lady asked me about donation. So sometimes she discussed with her husband before offering. But sometimes when she discussed with her husband disagreed. Although he disagreed, she secretly offered. Then she also asked me, should she do this kind of offering or not? What should I say? Then I just say simply, if what your husband said is reasonable, don't do it. If without reason, if you say no, then you must discuss. So that means when we are going to do dana, our donation must be useful for receiver. We must investigate, is it worthy or not? It will be useful or not? We have to check, right? So sometimes the Kabbalah discuss about donation. the sometimes wife disagree, or sometimes husband disagree, then in this case, we must find the reason. If reasonable, we must follow it. Right? Jaga, we can say equal jaga. So if we say equal jaga, then we can also understand, right? Offering together. Right? Then we can discuss about dana together. If we cannot discuss anything about dana, then their jagas are not quite balanced. Okay, finally, we have the last one, equal wisdom, panya. So one more thing here. Last night when we talk about panya, it is vipassana, right? You have already know vipassana. Of course, vipassana also panya. Then we have one more thing. Samadhi, right view. This also panya. So we have different idea, different view, different understanding. If our way of thinking is quite far, quite different, if our way of understanding is quite different, then if our view are quite different, we cannot discuss. Or practically, let alone wisdom, even knowledge, general knowledge. We have different knowledges, right? But now modern society is easier. Just suck in A and you can know everything. Knowledge is easy now. Now we don't need to memorize many things. Okay, like for example, Dhamma knowledge. If Dhamma knowledge are quite far, we cannot discuss. Then, okay, here we have one traditional saying. If the words, the speech is so big, ears is so small, the ear cannot hold the speech. Right? That means sometimes you give very big topics, very good instruction to somebody, but their ears is so small, they cannot accept it. Then, in this kind of case, we can say wisdom is quite far. Like a very big ship, right? Trying to, we can say like go into a small tunnel, cannot hold. Then we also have another one. Very big ear, small speech, it cannot reach. Right? Sometimes like the way you think it's very big, very wide. You have a very big ear. You can absorb whatever them people say. But real speakers say very small things, minor things. It cannot reach your ear anymore. You're going to satisfy with that kind of speech, right? This is called wisdom and knowledge. If wisdom is quite far, knowledge is quite different. We cannot discuss. We cannot make any conversation. That's why when we have these four equal value, equal qualities, then this couple can see each other in the future. So if they don't have these four, then they cannot expect to meet each other in the future, in the samsara. So this is the teaching to Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata. Okay, let alone a couple or household life, right? Just say form a community. In our community, So you may have many friends. You have different confidence, different belief. Some of them have overconfidence, arrogance, or stubborn. Then how do you end up with that kind of friends? How many times, how many friends do you have to break up for their arrogance, for their stubbornness? Then there are some people, their confidence is strong. We can emulate, we can imitate the way they behave, the way they believe themselves. That means it is worthy, right? That kind of friends are worthy. Similarly, morality. The Buddha also said, don't associate with inferior one. That means inferior in morality. So that means if we have to associate with that kind of people, our image will be spoiled. It can damage our image also, right? Not only that, it will affect our lifestyle. Many annoying will come, right? You have many annoying. Then another thing is associate with equal one. That means equal morality. If we have equal morality, we can share our experiences. We can build better life together. Okay, now another one is associate with superior one. Then you may have question, right? Don't associate with inferior one. Associate with superior one. These two are obviously, right? For example, I'm an inferior. I'm to associate with superior one. He may not associate with me because I'm an inferior. Right? Someone's inferior. I'm a superior. So what I say, don't associate with inferior one. I will not associate with that kind of person. What do you do? Why? Okay, one more thing. Although inferior one, they are changing their lifestyle. They are trying to behave well, or they are obedient type. We can associate with that kind of inferior one. Although they are inferior, they are stubborn, arrogant, disobedient. They will not change their habits. If we have that kind of friends, we cannot associate. Right? So that means if somebody is inferior, they are trying to upgrade their value, we have to help them to make it better and better. If they don't have any changing, we're going to have any more. For equal one, of course, we can share our knowledge, our experience. For better one, we can emulate, imitate. We have to follow their footsteps. So for about Jaga, in our community, we have to share duties. Even in this retreat, we have to share duty, right? But we live together in the same place. We might share duties. If we have many people working together, we may have little duties. If many of them is not willing to work, then it will be overloaded for a few people who can work. Right? That's why sharing duty make society united. Now there's also duty is also lighter, not very heavy. In the case of Jaga, that means sharing property also includes. Right? Sharing properties. When somebody needs, we can share our properties. In the case of wisdom, of course, it's always needed. We have to upgrade our wisdom, our knowledge all the time. So let alone in family life, even just from a relationship or in the community, we need these four. If these four are quite different from one another, we're going to live in the community. Okay, you may have been to Paudoya. Right? Some people have been to Paudoya, right? There are many people, they just leave. They don't want to follow Vinaya. Right? So there are also many people, they just come. They want to change their habits to have Vinaya. Okay, a few days ago, I talked about chewing Pita quit. Some people, they also smoke, right? Then there are many people, they came to Pao, they want to stop smoking. They can also do it. They want to quit chewing Pita quit. They come to Pao, they can really make it. There are some people, they're not very strong. They came to Pao, they keep smoking, we don't allow them to live, they have to leave. This is limited by moral value. If moral value is quite far, cannot live in the same community. Okay, one more thing. I think a few years ago, I have already talked about this. One of the community in Malaysia. In Malaysia, we have one Pao Doya monastery, Nibbana Forest Monastery. Actually, that was started from one household, one family, but later they offered to Pao Doya. Then many of Vietnamese know Bani Chandima. Right? He also had been there. He spent wasa in Nibbana many times. You may also have known Bani Kunda Dana, Bani Ukong, right? He also spent wasa in Nibbana many times. Okay, I want to talk about workers there. They are Myanmar workers in that monastery. Okay, and then somebody, they have been in this monastery very long time, Bandi Boga, right? One time when we visit there, he's also one of the workers in Malaysia. Okay, now I should talk about the way they live in this community. They have very long evening chant. Without chanting, they will not have dinner. After evening chant, they have dinner. Without chanting, they will not have evening. They don't have dinner. This is one thing. So now they are just workers. They also work for Bhikkhu Sangha. They are also Kapiya. All of them undertake 5 precepts. They also have group meditation in the early morning. So sometimes I also a little bit curious about them. Like if somebody, is there anybody who drank in your community, then they cannot live anymore? They say yes, there are some people. Because their facilities are quite good. Their boss also quite good. Right? They have 3 meals. I mean, good meals, they can cook as they like. Their boss just provides food for them. That means their boss believes them very well. Then sometimes some worker came to work with them. They want to drink. Then he tried to persuade some of them. Nobody follow him. Then finally, he cannot bear anymore. He doesn't want to drink. Nobody drink, right? Leave. That means in the good community, in the moral community, immoral person cannot live. Similarly, in the immoral community, moral person cannot live. It's very terrible. So 2% together, or many people in very big group, they have very big difference, moral value. They will split into two groups, naturally. Similarly, charity, right? Now, even bribery also charity, right? But the Brahman says your own profit, you bribe, right? Anyway, Panya knowledge is also the same, right? Then if we have equal wisdom, equal knowledge, we can discuss, we can work together. So these are requirements for the community also. Okay, now we should move to the next part. Actually, we also have one sutta to Nakula Mata in Anguttara Nikaya. So the Buddha also suggested her, how do we go wife? Then the Buddha also say, let me sleep late, wake up early. And that kind of suggestion. Rather than say, let me behavior, body action must be polite. Verbally, she must be polite. Another thing is jaga, generosity. She must be generous. And the Buddha says this kind of quality to Nakula Mata. Then we also have one sutta to Nakula Pita. When Nakula Pita got sick, Nakula Mata also comforted him. The Buddha said, dying, passing away, whose attachment is not quite good. That means don't bother about her, or don't bother about family. Feel free. She has this kind of comfort. That means don't have too much attachment to family, right? She said that kind of thing to Nakula Pita. Not only that, she also make her husband recover by telling the truth. Because it's such a ditana. Determine by telling the truth, we call such a ditana, right? He could recover. This is also special treatment, right? Then one day, Nakula Pita visited the Buddha alone. Then there, the Buddha also say one thing. Though my body is afflicted, my mind will be afflicted. This statement, right? Let me, when he reported, when we talk to the Buddha, right, my body is sick. The Buddha say, okay, if your body is sick, don't make your mind sick. Make your mind healthy, we can say, right? When hearing that, he was very happy. He approached Venerable Sariputta. When seeing Nakula Pita's behavior, Venerable Sariputta can recognize, oh, he was so happy hearing the Buddha's teaching. Then he also asked question, oh, devotees, do you have any, then have you got any instruction from the Buddha? You look so happy. Then Nakula Pita said, yes, I have got instruction from the Buddha. When I report to the Buddha, my body is sick, not quite well. Then the Buddha say, although your body is afflicted, but your mind should not be afflicted. Then Venerable Sariputta asked him, do you know what is the meaning? Then, oh, I forgot. Haven't asked the meaning in detail to the Buddha. Right? When the Buddha said something, he was so happy that he just leave the Buddha. He doesn't have any question to the Buddha. Then Venerable Sariputta said, afflicted means the real, that means like a practicing vipassana, practicing samatha vipassana, we can say, right? For example, body is sick, our mind is healthy. Healthy means our mind is pure. It's meditation, samatha vipassana. So when Venerable Sariputta explained deep meaning, then he was very happy again. Okay, one more thing here, right? We can find that sutta in Samudana Nikaya about body is a pain, mind should not be pain, right? Practically, when you have a defilement, you feel pain, right? It's very clear, right? When the mind becomes very pure, no more pain. Okay, now we have to move the last part about practice. Actually, Nakula Pita also asked the Buddha, why some do not attain Nibbana? This is also a big question, right? So what do you think? It should be very simple, right? Sensual pleasure. We can say 6 sense doors and 6 sense objects, right? So if we have desirable object, we may have greed. And desirable object, we may have anger or dosa. This is the one thing, right? The main thing is if we delight in sensual pleasure or sense object, then the one cannot attain Nibbana. So here we can also understand another way. Few days ago, somebody asked me, what about difference between chanda and lobha, right? So now here I should elaborate a few more steps. Chanda, lobha or dana, and then upadana. 3, right? Then we have one simile. Chanda is like stretching out our hand to get something. Dana is holding the property. Upadana is grasping very tightly in order that we may not lose. That is a difference between chanda, dana, and upadana. But here in the case of attainment, the Buddha say clinging, upadana. So we have one of the Pali word, kamupadana, clinging to sensual pleasure. This is called kamupadana. Then we don't want to lose anything. Very strong grasping, very strong holding. This is called upadana. When we have very strong grasping like this, then we cannot attain any path and fruition knowledge. We cannot attain Nibbana. Then second one, why some do attain Nibbana? This is also another question. It will be opposite. If we don't have very strong attachment or clinging or grasping to sensual pleasure, that we can attain path and fruition knowledge. We can realize Nibbana. So that means when we have a less defilement, we have more possibility to attain path and fruition knowledge. When we have more defilement, we have a less possibility to attain Nibbana. Right? Then I remember one of our Bali teacher talk about defilement. He say, if you have a little defilement, you have a little suffering. If you have big defilement, you have big suffering. So that means if we have little suffering, then we have more happiness. Right? If we have big suffering or more suffering, we have less happiness. So if we can subside defilements, we may have more peacefulness, more happiness. That's about Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata. If we were to know more in detail about the discourses, that for about afflictions, body and mind, you can learn in Sumsumaragira. For about attainment, also you can find in Sumsumaragira. For about the qualities, right? We can say 4 equals, right? Qualities can be found in Untitled Nikaya. Also, how to be a good housewife, the discourse to Nakula Mata can be found in Untitled Nikaya. So these are from Sumsumaragira, very famous couple. Okay, so today we should stop here, right? We just talk about only one couple. Although we talk about couple, it also can be for community. We can use all the message, all the material for community. So sometimes we want to live in a good community. We are not qualified enough. We must upgrade our value. What do we need? We have to check these 4. Saddha, Sila, Jaga, and Panya. If you're not very happy in the community, do you need to change or do they have to change? Sometimes all the people are doing the same mistakes. In this kind of society, you cannot change them, right? You must change yourself. If all of them are doing good, if you alone doing mistakes, you must change. So to have better community, we must check these 4 qualities. What do we need? So especially individually, if we need, we have to change. We have to upgrade that value. For example, confidence. If you don't have the confidence, you have to establish your confidence. If you don't have morality, trying to fulfill more responsibilities, more duties, more abstinence. If you don't have a jaga, you might share your property with your friends. When you have habit of sharing, right? In the very beginning, you may hesitate to share your property. After knowing the taste of sharing, you will share willingly. Without knowing the taste of sharing, we hesitate also, right? This is normal. In the case of wisdom, of course, we have to learn all the time. Now we have many material, right? We can listen to the Dhamma talk. We can also learn from Buddha teaching. We can read many books. Then we have to upgrade our wisdom, our view, our understanding, and also our way of thinking. Not only that, we also upgrade our knowledge. In this way, we can build better community. If we can practice well, of course, there will be many other equal, right? If we have equal concentration, equal vipassana, we can have more open discussion, right? So may you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering. Oh, today quiet.
So now there is question on Zoom. Thưa Ngài, một người ngồi thiền và mới bắt đầu có định tâm 30 đến 50 phút thì bước tiếp theo của họ là cần cố gắng kéo dài thời gian định tâm hơn hay phải làm những gì để có thể có được tầng thiền hạ? Xin Ngài chỉ giúp con. Sayadaw, if one meditator start to have a good concentration around 30 to 50 minutes, then what should he do next step in order to, should he try to prolong the concentration time, or what should he do in order to attain the jhana? Sayadaw, please teach me.
If you can maintain well, okay, there will be 2 conditions, right? One is a prolonged sitting. This is one thing, right? Not only regular sitting, maintain the quality. If you can remember many different processes that can make your concentration better, you will become more skillful. Okay. Oh, okay. Now we can share merit, right? Okay. Idame bunyam asawakaya waham hodu. Idame bunyam nibbanasa bhajayo hodu. Mama bunya bhagam savasadanam bhajemi te sabe me samam bunya bhagam labandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.